What is up, guys? We are back again today with another video. Now, for today's video, guys, we are going to be doing another tier maker video. Now, I know you guys saw the title in the thumbnail, so you guys know that this video is going to be specifically about Rainbow Six Siege operators and just kind of where I view them, personally, in my opinion. I'm also going to be doing this with my brother as well, J-Ron, aka Jordan. So, with that being said, if you guys enjoy this type of video, make sure you guys let me know down below in the comments if you guys want to see more videos like this. Also, if you enjoyed, make sure you guys hit that like button. And without further ado, let's get into the video. All right. I'm here with my brother J-Ron. Say what's up for the viewers.
What's up?
What's up? We're gonna be ranking Rainbow Six Siege operators. This is kind of our opinion. We both have a lot of experience playing this game. Been playing over the years. That it's been out. I've got over 1,000 hours in this game. I know Jordan's got at least probably around 500, if not more. With that being said, we're gonna start off with our first operator, and we got a zombie, right? That's what this one is right here. This first one.
Yep.
Okay, I think a zombie's pretty damn good, honestly. Like, I don't know if I'd put straight go. I mean, I don't know. She is pretty good though with that shotgun. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd put pretty good.
Pretty good,
Especially
pretty
with
good.
the shotgun, because
Yeah.
it's like pinpoint accuracy.
Oh, for sure. I mean, being able to put an ACOG on a shotgun in Siege is just really overpowered, honestly. And like with her ability, like kind of being able to like create your own like angles and peaks is like pretty solid. Even with the nerf, like where they made it so you can like shoot it and break it, it's still pretty solid. It takes a lot of bullets to break them,
Mm-hmm.
So we'll put in pretty good. As we're kind of doing this, if we feel like we need to adjust any of them, we can always do that as well. It's not set in stone as soon as we put them in there,
Yep.
All right, next on this list we have Bravo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll be honest, my first take on Bravo, I don't use her that often. I think she has the potential to be really good.
Underrated. Cause,
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Just to take someone else's like team gadget.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, dude, straight up, like I've seen a Brava take somebody's cap can trap, and then the defender died to the cap can trap. Like that's crazy, bro. Like that's so different, I'll be honest with you. I think I would put her more like in the solid range.
Yeah.
I think if more people started using her, and I mean, her loadout's not terrible. It's just I'm not a huge fan of her guns either. She has that AR that Capitao has, and I'm not a huge fan of that gun.
Her the tap gun. I forgot what it's called. It's like.
Is it is it a DMR?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 taps. So.
Yeah, I probably should use that when I use her, honestly, because yeah, I definitely am not a huge fan of that AR. But other than that, I think her ability is solid. Her loadout's decent. Yeah, that's probably what I would say for her. And yeah, we can go ahead and move on to the next one. We got Fenrir. What do you think? I'll let you get the first opinion on this one.
I've never really used him a lot, but like.
Right, because he kind of gets banned a lot, right?
Yeah. He's always banned.
Yeah.
But if I had to put him somewhere.
Yeah, right.
Off what I know about him, I'd probably put him in like pretty good because his ability where you can't see is like overpowered.
Yeah, I was literally just gonna say. I mean, like he gets banned for a reason. You know what I mean? Like if he's getting banned, it means he's good. It means people don't want to go against him. So I think especially when you probably get into the higher ranks, like even higher than me, like in Platinum, which is. I mean, Platinum is decent, but it's not that great. Like, let's be honest. Like, people above me, even, if they were using Fenrir, it's probably cracked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Next on the list, we have Grim, right? That's who this guy is?
Yep.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I think he's pretty trash. He might be our first trash category kind of guy. Like, I hate to hate on the guy because it's like the concept of his ability is a good concept, right? It's just like, it's hard to use it because it's like people oftentimes know where to place themselves where they're not going to be in range of like where he's going to be able to shoot those at you, like they're always going to be out of range type of shit, like if people are smart enough, so
even if you do like walk into one, you could just like go into a corner where they can't like shoot through a wall or something or, like,
right. I think honestly I could see in the future him getting some sort of huge buff and then he could be better in the future,
Yeah.
Alrighty, next on the list we have Osa. I'll be honest, I think Osa is solid. Like that's just the first thing I think about her. Like her guns are good. Her ability is good also for certain objectives, like certain rooms
like
on buildings.
C4 can mess her up. Like
or you can just hit her window too and it breaks. Like there's all sorts of ways to kind of counter her, but I think if you use her in the right situation, she can be pretty useful. So I think she is above mid, and I think solid's pretty fit.
Yep.
Alrighty, next on the list we have Ram, right? Yep. I mean, she's pretty good.
I'd probably go with solid too, because
solid,
like, just for making vertical and
yeah,
like,
for sure, for sure.
It can make them like really like under pressure if they're like,
yeah, and she's got an R4C, which is a pretty solid gun too, you know.
Yeah.
So you think solid for right now?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. We'll go ahead and move on to the next one. What's this dude's name, bro? What's his name?
Sens.
Sens. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't know if he's as bad as Grim,
a lot of people
but
don't use him. I've been starting to use him a lot because
his gun's not terrible.
If you like throw like all of his ability, all his things into like a site and just like walk in the door and plant, it can actually be pretty useful, but it can be shot.
Yeah, you can still be shot and heard.
Smokes.
I think it would be kind of
put at mid.
Yeah, I think I was gonna say mid's probably the highest that I would put it. The thing is like with this game, like what people who don't really play the game or people who play the game casually, like what they don't really understand is like sound is so huge in the game of Rainbow Six, you know? And so it's like, although his gadget blocks people's vision, if somebody's right on the other side of the wall and they hear you jump through a window, they're still gonna just pre-fire you through the sends, you know what I mean? Like, and with this game, I mean, I know you've been a victim of it as well, just like me. Like, it's really easy to get, like, someone to get a lucky headshot on you, you know? Like, one bullet, you're dead, you know? So that's why I think he's kind of mid. I think you gotta buff him where you, like, add some sort of, like, you can't hear, like, what's on the other side of the, like, his walls, his gadgets. Like, maybe it makes a noise or something, you know? Like, I don't know. Like, they gotta figure something out to make him a little bit better with his gadget. But I think he's not the worst. So I'll agree mid, all right? All right. Next, we got Solus. And dude, I'm not gonna lie, I've been seeing a lot of people like on TikTok and just on everything else saying that Solus is actually really good right now.
Yeah, I have to agree, just because like she can see you planting
and she's got impacts. She's got the P90 and she's got the SMG-11 secondary. So that's what I know a lot of people like about her. I would be honest with you. I would be okay for now putting her in the GOAT as being like the first GOAT category, just because like if you get someone who's actually good with her, like really good with her, like you're screwed. It doesn't matter if it's like a 1v3 or a 1v4 and like the Solus is by herself. All she has to do is wait for the person to plant and like wait for the defuse, you know, like if they're really good, you know, they got to play everything out right, you know. So, but I think she is a pretty clutch ass operator, and I could definitely see her in some sort of way maybe getting nerfed in the future. I don't know. But definitely I see her being up in the GOAT category. You agree, you think?
Yeah.
Alrighty, next on the list we got Thorn. I'll be honest, I use Thorn a lot. I really like her ability, just for the simple fact that it like I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter what armor you are. If you stay close enough to the range of her gadget, it will kill you. It will kill you. So I think although you can run away from it or go around corners, it really changes up your plan of action when you're pushing. You know, it's like as soon as you run into one, you legit have to turn around and run. And you know, and a lot of times when you turn around and run is usually when you're going to get pushed by somebody else, right? Because you're just trying to rush, you know? So it's like, I think her ability is pretty good in the right hands. What do you think? I think her loadout's pretty good too.
I definitely think she's good. Her gun is really good. I like it. And I also like how you could just like place her. I usually, whenever I use her, I put her at like doorways, or like I put her at like where someone would like usually plant.
Right.
So like if they walk there, they, you know.
Yeah. You want to know where my favorite spots usually actually to put her things are? Is when you're playing.
And you can push up. They're also good alarms.
Well, what actually I was it is good for alarms too, to just know where people are pushing from. But what I was gonna say is I like putting them on hatches, because like not directly on the hatch, but like around the hatch, you know, like on the roof near the hatch. Because if people drop down, they don't see the Thorn thing unless they throw their drone down and look directly up, you know. They're not going to see it. And when they drop, it's like they don't know which way to drop when they go in, and like which way to run, because they don't know where it's at. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, unless they get lucky and they run far enough away, it's usually going to get them, you know?
Yeah.
So
I put her at pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, pretty good. I think I agree with that as well. All right, next on the list we have Thunderbird. I'll let you get first take on this one. What do you think about her?
Um, I think she's really good because some people, it depends how you play her. If
Right,
some
right, right.
people will put them all in one spot,
Yeah.
which is like usually just for the person that is playing her,
Right,
or
right.
there's the people that will actually put them around site and like
I like to spread
try
them
to
out. Yeah,
spread
I
them
like to
out
spread
with
them
the
out for
team.
sure because it's like, for one, I think you should have one in each objective, and then you kind of have like one around where people are maybe gonna like rotate, like maybe in between the
Yeah,
sites or
yeah,
something. Like I think that's generally kind of like a good way to stack them out because it's like, although you don't get as much health when you separate them all out, it's like you still give a like they might take over one of the objectives and you're in the other objective and you need to get that quick boost of health before you go push.
yeah,
So it's like I just think that's what's good about her. And her gun's pretty solid too. I'm pretty sure it's an AR,
yeah.
right? It just doesn't have
It
an
is pretty good.
ACOG. Yeah. So I think overall, I think I would put her in solid. What do you think?
Yep, I like
Yeah.
that.
I think that's a pretty good spot. All right, next on this list we have Tabaro and aka Tubbs. I really like him. I mean, I know you've seen me play him a lot. I think his DMR is so fucking overpowered. The fact that you can put the ACOG on it, I mean, it just shoots fast. It has a high damage. Like 2 shots, you're downing someone or killing them. It's like, what do you think?
He's good. Like I like his like guns and stuff, but
Yeah,
his like ability, it's good. It's just like
it's kind of
well,
hard.
it's
It's
only for
hard to
like
use.
a little bit of time. It's not like
Yeah,
yeah. If it
right.
stayed, I think I like it more.
Right, right. I think a lot of times, honestly, if I'm being real, I use him more so for his loadout, even more than his gadget. His gadget is, I will say though, is decent. And one thing I need to start doing more when I play as him is if you legit throw it at an operator, it legit slows them down. Like they can't run. And I never used that effect of it for the longest time. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, because when I originally played as him, I
yeah,
really only thought like, oh, I'm gonna throw it, at a wall when someone's using like a breach charge, or a hard breach, like that's kind of like what they advertise as like what it's for. But it's like there's more to it than that, like you can throw it at drones. You can, I mean, honestly, I've seen that you can even like throw it at like like gadgets, like people's gadgets, and it'll freeze them
yeah.
too. So I will say I think he's not goat, but I will say for now he's got to be pretty good. Put him there.
Mm.
Okay. We'll kind of try to speed run a lot of these, especially like since we're going on a stretch right now where it's going to be a lot of like the OG operators.
Yeah, yeah,
I think if we're speed running this, Ash, I think we can both agree is pretty good. I mean, just the
yeah.
fact that she's fast, her
She's not really
gadget
like a
is
team player, but like
right, 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 and just her thing is all about just being fast, and you got to be good with either that R4C or that
and if you have
G36.
aim, if you're really good
Right,
with your aim,
right. Oh yeah,
especially in the lower ranks.
oh yeah, for sure, for sure. And I'm not gonna lie, for this next one, I'm kind of biased, but I think you'll agree with me to an extent. I will say I think Bandit is in GOAT category for defense because I think you can literally use him every single defend round and on any map. Anywhere you go, there's gonna be a wall that you're gonna want to probably Bandit. You know what I mean?
Mm,
And his gun's good. He's got an MP7. You can't tell me that MP7's not one of the better guns in the game.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, he's pretty damn solid in my opinion. I mean, I like him. I would consider myself a bandit main a lot of times when I play defense. With that being said, though, next one is Blitz. I want to hear your take on this one.
Um, I don't know. I don't know either if I want to put him in mid or bad because like his ability is crazy just because of like
Yeah,
your shield and you have a flash.
yeah.
This
I
however that
will.
sounds is just crazy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I will say I think the lowest I would put him is mid because I'll be
I
honest, I'd even consider
probably put him
solid.
mid. Yeah.
I would consider solid, but I'll put mid because I value your opinion for this one.
His new like pushback stuff where you can't like. It used to be. I mean, I guess it was kind of overpowered though.
Yeah, I will say now that you can't hit fire with the shield, it makes it kind of different, like how you play as him. But the fact that you can sprint with the shield in front of you now, it makes him a lot better. I don't know. I think it really depends on just who's playing as him, and how good they are, and how also good. Usually, like blitz is only as good too as if like there's a push, like a person pushing behind with them. You know, like a teammate.
Yeah.
So it really depends on how good that person is that's with them. So I'll agree. I'll put mid for now, and we'll go ahead and move on to castle.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. My quick opinion on castle is, I would honestly put castle as bad, honestly. And the reason why I say that is as someone who likes to oftentimes roam on defense, like if you get someone who's like an idiot castle, bro, like they'll literally castle off the rotations on the site. Like they'll castle off like the main doors on the site. And it's like when you're a roamer
I
and
like
like,
it's whoever's playing them.
right, but it's like, let's be honest, bro. Like, there's so much things that can break a cap, I mean, not a cap can, a castle window or wall, you know, or a barricade.
Yeah.
You know, you got sledge, you got ash, you got frag grenades, you know, you got glass, you know, you got Cali. Like, there's so much different things that you can use to counter it. It's like, I just don't view his ability as being that good. They did buff him a little bit by adding the ACOG to the ump, which has made him, I think, better. I think if he didn't have that ACOG ump, he would be honestly in the trash category, in my opinion. But I think he's bad. What would you say is the benefits of him? Because it sounds like you think that he's a little bit better than what I'm saying.
Um, I don't know. I feel like you have to be like, even if you're a roamer, he's good because like even if you're roaming with castle and you're like trying to get like in a certain spot,
Yeah.
and there's certain maps that you need the castle for, like there's certain sites like I'll
Where
give you an
you would
example
like you
for
want to just castle off certain parts so you don't have
yeah,
to worry about them, kind of for a little bit.
like where people usually go for the first round on Outback.
Right, right,
And you
right.
know, like the room with like the
With the bunk
um
beds.
no, it's like across from that. It's next to the bathroom or shower area.
Did someone knock on my door? Never mind. Are you talking? You're saying across from the bathrooms, like the objective room, like the room where
No,
the bomb's in, or are you talking about?
it's like where the games are, kind of.
Oh, game room.
For the
That's just
yeah
literally
game
game
room.
room.
Yeah, I like to castle off the door right there, and I'll also like to castle off the. Well, actually, not that door. I like to castle off the ballroom, because the ballroom sometimes people literally will push in so fast
Right,
you're
right.
not even like ready for it.
All right. Next on the list we have Doc. I'll be honest. Doc is pretty good in the sense that like his gun's good. Obviously with the MP5, you know he could
Yeah.
obviously stim his own health as well as his teammates. He could also res them, you know, from a distance if you need to. Um, I would go and probably say that Doc, in my opinion, would be pretty good. What do you think?
I don't know. I might put him in goat just because he heals you all the way like full.
Oh, really?
Like
With
say you're
one
at
shot
one
now?
yeah, at one HP,
Oh,
you're full. So it's just like I don't know. To me,
yeah,
it's really good, really
yeah.
good.
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know it heals you all the way now. Like I know back in the day, it used to just do like a certain amount, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Then, with that being said, we'll put him in goat category. Next on the list we have Fuse. I'll give your first take on this. So I'll let you go ahead. What do you think first?
Bad.
Bad. Yeah, I'll agree. I'll definitely agree. I mean, he can be good for certain rooms, like for vertical play, I'll say. But other than that, his ability is pretty trash. You know, like if somebody puts it on a window or
Yeah.
a door, they're just gonna shoot it out. You know what I mean? Like that's what I do every time if like I'm near one, you know, and I hear it going off. I'll just shoot the barricade that it's on, you know. So he's really only good for vertical. His guns are not even really that great either. That LMG and the AK are just decent in my opinion. They're not that great.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. Next operator we have Glaz, and I know obviously you know I'm biased when it comes to Glaz. I really
Yeah.
like him. I'm not gonna say he's GOAT, honestly, just because, or else I think you would see a lot more people using him. So what do you think about Glaz?
Um, he's good, but like, I mean, I'd probably put him pretty good because like, it's like a thermal, and you could like shoot
Right.
through smoke. So
What I
and
really
they just
think,
can't see you.
right, right. What I think is really underrated about him is like his gun's a DMR, right? It seems like it's a sniper, but it acts more like a DMR because like you shoot it faster, right? Like I think, in my opinion, like Callie, that's obviously a sniper. You know what I mean? That's a bolt action. You're cocking
Yeah.
the shit back every time you're shooting, right? But
Mm-hmm.
with Glass, even though it
The
says it's a
DMR.
sniper, you can literally just go boom, 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 like spam it. You know what I mean? Like just like a DMR. You know.
Yeah.
And so, and I think it does like high damage, like 60 something, like a fucking DMR would. You know. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
it's like if you are someone who plays games and you're good with DMRs, like especially if you're good with DMRs on Siege, you can use Glass pretty damn well if you mix it up
Mm-hmm.
with the smokes, you know, and like no good rotations with him. Like I think he's really underrated and good. I think though once you get to higher ranks, you probably have people who counter him with playing like shit like Warden and stuff like that. You know, like I'm sure there's things like that. I will say I think the lowest I'll put him is Solid. You think Solid's pretty
I
good?
probably I would say pretty good,
Pretty
honestly.
good. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
down with that. I'm down with that. I'll keep them in pretty good. Next on the list we have IQ. I will say I don't think IQ is that good. I think
Yeah.
the concept of her gadget is like a good concept because like you would think right with all the operators, you know, they all have like gadgets and shit that they throw out. You know, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, why would IQ not be better? You know, but it's like the one thing I will say right off the bat that makes her gadget not that good is the way to use it is you can only have your pistol out, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like when you have it just like that, it's like if someone's running up on you while using the gadget, you know, you're gonna get toasted. You know what I mean? Like, you're
Mm-hmm.
probably not gonna win that pistol fight with someone who's using like a shotgun or an SMG or whatever. You know, so
Yeah.
that's just one reason I don't really like her. Everything else about her is pretty good, honestly, in my opinion. I just don't think that her gadget is worthy enough to run her over another operator. You know,
Yeah.
so. With that being said, I don't think she's trash, but I would probably put her in bad, honestly.
Yeah. She was my first main.
Really?
I don't even really know why I used her, but I
Yeah.
think it was because of like her guns.
Yeah.
There's an AUG. I would always
Her
use the
her
AUG
guns
on
are
her.
really honestly not that bad,
Yeah.
and honestly, like I'll consider it later on, but I could honestly move her up to mid after kind of adding more people. We'll see what it looks like.
Mm. Yep.
Next on the list though we have Jaeger, and I think
Go.
Jaeger
Let's go.
is pretty good. Yeah, I think he could definitely be up in the go category. I mean,
Yeah.
in the history of Siege, man, whether it was when he had the ACOG or even after they took away the ACOG, it's like his gun, his carbine has always just been legendary in the game. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
that, and then on top of that, his gadget's not bad either. You know, it's
That
like
gadget's good.
I mean, like you put him around the map and it stops flashbangs, grenades, whatever, you know. And so I just think he honestly like they made. We'll get to Walmart later, but I think honestly, like Jaeger is just a better version of Walmart in my opinion. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't think Walmart is that good. I mean, because literally Jaeger's device can stop. I'm pretty sure 3 different gadgets when you throw it in.
They
Walmart's
can
does the
stop some abilities as well, actually.
Right, right. Well, and it's like Walmart though is like you throw one in the area of it, it sucks it up, and then it's gone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I would put him definitely higher up. I think is just a legendary operator. You know what I mean? You can't
Yeah.
argue with it. Next on the list we have Capcan, and I'll be honest, I really like Capcan. I don't know if I
Yeah.
necessarily put him GOAT because like if you're someone who plays the game of Siege smart, you can either just drone and like see his gadgets, or if you're smart, you play the doorways like slow and you peek them first. You know, I mean, if you know right off the bat, like after drone phase that they have a Capcan, you're either if you're smart, you're gonna check doorways either with your drone or just with your normal, you know, yourself. You know,
Yeah.
so while I say that, I do think his gun's still pretty good. And honestly, if someone's trying to rush or you know someone's just a casual, they're not paying attention. He will definitely get you killed. Like he's got me killed the other day
Mm-hmm.
when we were playing when I was Ash, like with one just Capcan trap on the door. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it'll catch you slipping sometimes if you're not paying attention. You know, so with that being said, altogether, I would say he's pretty good. What do you think?
Yep. I
Yeah.
agree.
Okay. We'll put him up there in pretty good. Next on the list, we have Montang. And I'll be honest with you, as a person who enjoys playing defense more than attack, I hate going against a Montang. Honestly. Like it is just so annoying when you have someone who's playing Montang and they're playing in a stack, with other people, and they're just
Yeah.
constantly calling out where you
It's
are.
so hard.
Like, and now with the thing where it's like Montang, if he gets up on you and he melees you, it knocks you back and knocks you down. Like that is enough time for him to either run up on you and melee you again, or to fucking unextend and pull out his pistol and shoot you. You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
you go against someone who's a good Montang and they have a good stack that's with them, like you're fucking it's hard, bro. Like if you don't have nitro cells, you're kind of sauced, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
with that being said, dude, I would put him in the go, bro, honestly, if you can get the right people, and the right person playing him.
Yeah.
Like
That's the thing. It's like the right person, though. So.
right. And well, and the thing is too is it's like how many times like when do you see like when someone plays as Montang, people will type in chat like or they'll say in like in game chat or whatever they'll be like, oh, you're using a shield operator to crutch, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like that's a thing for a reason. People get annoyed and triggered off of that for a reason, because it's hard, it's OP,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
Uh, all right, next on the list we got Mute, and I know you use Mute more probably than I do, but I will
Mhm.
say I like when you run Mute, and I think he's a good operator. What do you think?
Um, instantly off of like just like me like even seeing him mute, I'd instantly put him in goat just because of his shotgun, which has been a one shot gun for like the whole entire game,
Right,
like the whole entirety of this game
right,
for most of the operators.
right.
But even his ability is really good, like especially with the SMG as well. It's
Oh
like
yeah,
I don't know. It's just like so hard to compare with like any other operator.
I would honestly, if like I don't know if you'll agree with me, I would put him up in Go. Honestly, I
Yeah,
think he's
that's where I
really
put him.
solid. I mean,
That's where I put him.
for the same
And a
reasons.
C4. It's just
Right,
crazy.
right. Well, and that's the thing. We haven't even talked about that with some of these other operators too. Like Bandit also has a nitro cell. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's
Mhm.
like I think Mute is good for the same reasons that I think Bandit's good. They both do the same thing. They jam hard breaches and all that, and they both have good loadouts. You know what I mean? Like their guns are good. They both have nitro cells. Like you just can't go wrong with running either one of those operators any game. You know what I mean? Any round. So I 100% agree with you on that, and we'll go ahead and move on to the next one. We got Pulse here, or AKA Kariak Johnson. Yeah, that was cringe. I'll never say that again. Sorry, I'm just kidding. But yeah, Pulse. What are your thoughts on Pulse?
Um, I think he's I probably would have put him in go, but he is really good just
Right,
because
right,
you
I
know
mean,
you can
dude.
see people through walls.
Right,
Like
right,
it's
and
like ESP, but without
yeah,
cheating.
right,
Like
right.
I mean,
Well,
you have to have something now, so it's like a little bit like you could get killed that way if you have it out.
right, right,
While,
right, right,
like,
right. While
but you
someone's
could
playing
see
against you.
them. But you
Yeah,
could see them, so like you'll know to
right.
take it away.
Right, and well, the thing I will say is like, if you are even a decent siege player, like a lot of times, like if you're playing underneath and the objective is above, like you have that nitro cell, you're getting someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hmm.
Like if you play good, you know what I mean. If you time it right and wait until someone's literally not moving, it doesn't take very long to put down your cardiac sensor and throw a nitro cell and blow it up. Like it's
Yeah.
literally you're talking like a second of time, dude. It's like boom bop boom bop. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's easy. So I will be honest with you. I don't know necessarily if I'll put him go, but I think pretty good. I think is honestly
Yeah.
a
I
good
put him
spot for
there
him.
as well.
You know, I will say he's kind of like he can be a selfish operator sometimes, but like if you are someone who's good at communicating, like you can still call out to other people like where they're at. You know what I mean? If you know good call outs.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
And you just mark them.
right, for sure, for sure. All right, so next on the list, well, and actually, you know what? Before we even go to the next one, I will say his guns are even just good too. Like the ump is good. Like the ump is a really
Yeah.
solid gun. It has like literally
Has
almost no
no
recoil.
like recoil. Yeah.
Yeah. So, now with that being said, we'll go ahead and move on to the next one, and we got Rook here, and I'll let you get your first take on Rook, and then I'll let you know what I think.
All right. Honestly, I think he's really good and overpowered because, you could self res and
Right. Well, you
now
make
got
everyone
the
self
ACOG.
res.
Yeah, and you got the ACOG back and
Right. Yep. MP5
he's
ACOG is solid, bro.
I
Just
know
like
I
Doc.
know I know he's slow, but like
He's a good.
He's
I
tanky,
mean,
so
honestly,
he
yeah,
takes shots.
for sure. Like, I mean, you can spawn peek with him, and or you could just even play sight with him. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
either way. And the fact that like he puts down, like his ability is that he puts something down that makes everybody better, that's OP in itself. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
I'll be honest with you, and like I know you kind of already know this about me when it comes to this game. Like I don't really like selfish operators where it's like their ability only benefits themselves. You know what I mean? I like people to run operators where it's like, okay, at least if I'm not just benefiting myself, I'm at least benefiting whoever's pushing with me. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like that type of stuff. So I would
I also
agree.
think he's good just because of even if you can't use the MP5 like
Right,
with the like an ACOG or something,
right.
he always has the P90, which is
Oh, solid.
one of the best guns in my eyes.
Yeah,
Some
solid.
people don't really like it, but like
Well, it
it's
has a
so
it has a
good. It's
fast
like
fire
my
rate.
favorite gun.
Yeah.
Right now it's my favorite gun.
Right. So, in
Yeah.
my opinion, I think he's GOAT. What do you think?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I put him there as well.
All right. All right. Next on the list, we have Sledge, and I know I'm super biased on this one. You know that I play Sledge a lot. I
Yeah.
love that he has the Master Chief skin. Obviously, I'm a big Halo fan. With that being said, I'll give first take on this one. I will be humble. I like using him, but I know that his ability is honestly not really that great because I mean, all his ability really does is break soft breaches or barricades, soft
Mhm.
barricades. So I know his ability is really not that good. I will say I use him sometimes selfishly because I like that his ability, the sledgehammer, although you would think it sounds loud, it's not really. You know, when you compare it to like someone that has to use an explosion to get into somewhere, or someone that use like Buck who has to use a gun and shoots, and shooting is obviously loud. When you shoot a shotgun, that's loud, you
Yeah.
know? So it's like
Mhm.
Sledge is kind of like the quietest, quickest like break and enter in a soft, like on a soft breach that you can get. And on top of that, the other things that I really like about him are his gun, the L8. I like the ACOG on that gun. It's a pretty, like, that gun doesn't have crazy recoil, so using an ACOG on it is not hard. And then the second thing on top of that I like is that he has grenades. You know, he has grenades and the SMG-11.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you start stacking up all these things on top of each other, you kind of see why I like using him. Although his gadget isn't really that hype. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, Anything else you would like to add on him? And then I'll tell you where I would
Mm,
put him.
honestly, yeah,
Or is that
I
everything?
agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
If that's everything, I will honestly say I think he's solid. Do you think he should be higher or lower
Yeah.
than that?
I
Solid?
put him solid.
Solid?
Yeah.
Okay. I can live with that. I can live with that because honestly, anyone who's above solid is like people should be running these every game. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all these operators. If you're below solid, it's like you're gonna see these guys every once in a while. You know what I mean? Type shit. You know.
Yeah.
So, alrighty. Next on that list, we have Smoke. Um, I think Smoke is honestly really, really, really good. I think the thing that kind of like hinders his ability is people are not really good with that SMG primary that he has. Like, it's kind of harder to use than some other kind of SMGs. I think it's kind of a pea shooter compared to some other SMGs. Like, it doesn't like feel like it does as much damage. However, I will say if people are good with using the other primary, the shotgun, paired up with the
Yeah.
SMG-11, he could be pretty damn good. You know what I mean? If you're good with
Yeah.
like that kind of a play style, you know. And then on top of
Yeah.
that, one thing I really like about him is he's one of the only counters to a shield operator. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
obviously, people who have nitro cells, they have that one nitro cell. Boom, that's their chance. You know, to get rid of the shield operator.
Mhm.
If they don't get him there, then they're kind of done. You know, Smoke has all three. You know, smokes that he can use. Plus, on top of that, I'm pretty sure Smoke has impacts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I think Smoke I would put honestly in pretty good, if not GOAT tier. What do you think?
It's a hard one, but I'd honestly put him in GOAT.
Yeah.
He's like another Mew, honestly.
Right. Well,
Just like
the thing I haven't even mentioned either, if you think about it about him too, is like he can deny a plant. You know what I mean? Like even if they hard breach into the room and they've got people outside that are like watching, say like on Chalet Garage or something like that. You know, like because that's oftentimes where I like to run him. If you know that they're breaking in, you know, like I'll sit on those main stairs
Mhm.
and I'll just wait till I hear someone about to start planting and throw just a gas, you know, his gas, you
Yeah.
know, bomb right in
One
the middle of the floor right there, and then they're done, you know.
Yeah, one thing I wish they need to change about him is
Right.
you know how friend rear can place his stuff down and you like can choose which one to like
Yeah,
you know.
true, true.
I wish he was
Are you
like
kind of
that, so
thinking
you
like,
because you
well,
can only use
yeah,
one at a time.
right, yeah. So you're kind of thinking like, what if they used it more as like a trap rather than a grenade?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it would be really cool for him to have the ability to swap between modes on them. Like he can either place it down and have it be like maybe like a proximity thing where like if they run past it, it goes off. Or he
hmm
can choose for it to be a grenade where he just throws it and it automatically goes off on impact. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Or some
uh-huh.
or him whenever he clicks it. You know.
Yeah,
So yeah, I agree with you. I think they could definitely do more with him. But as he is now, he's still pretty goated in my opinion.
yeah,
All right, next on the list we have Tachanka, and I mean, the guy is obviously the meme lord of the game. You know, he's always been the meme lord since the beginning of all time of Siege. You know, back when his ability was just throwing down a turret with a couple pieces of glass in front of it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And then now he's turned into fucking grenade launcher psycho guy over here with fire. I will say his turret is obviously good. Like the handheld LMG one is good in the sense that like
yeah,
you can easily make like holes in walls and stuff with it, and
yeah.
it's pretty good
It's
damage.
crazy.
I mean, and you obviously don't have to reload because he has a drum mag on there, so it's like you can
Yeah,
handle multiple guys at once. His fire ability, the grenade launcher, is really good if you know someone's pushing from an area and you kind of like just want to cut that area off for a certain
yeah,
amount of time. Um, I will say, however, though, like he is his grenade launcher isn't OP in the sense where it's like, you know, like it's hard to fight him. You know what I mean? Like compared to he's also honestly one of those operators too that I was kind of like talking about earlier, where it's like his ability is kind of like selfish in the sense that it's like once he dies too, it's like no, it's not like someone else can run over to his dead body and pick up his grenade launcher. You know what I mean? Like that would be crazy. Imagine
yeah,
that. You know what I mean? Like once he's dead, his grenade launcher and his ability cease to exist. You know.
yeah.
So, with all that being said, where would you say the category he belongs in?
Um, honestly, I say solid.
Solid. Okay.
But if he wasn't like, I don't know, if he like if he wasn't like, I don't know how to explain it. Like
You're good. You're
I
good.
don't know.
I can always edit it.
I
By the
think
way.
I think he's yeah, yeah. I think he's really good also just for like stopping rotations and
Yeah.
like
Yeah. If you
you
have
know
someone who's pretty good at the game running him, like even if you're
yeah,
like one of the last people left and you
like
kind
a
of just need
really
to play
smart
time,
player.
right? Like if you just need to play time, you know, and play for them
Yeah,
to like not defeat like plant the bomb or something, you can always just cut off the
yeah,
rotations, like you said. So
yeah,
no, I agree with you. I agree with you. And I agree with him not being higher than that because it's like all these other guys, like we said,
yeah,
are people you're gonna see every game, just about. You know what I mean? You
yeah,
don't see Tachanka every game, so I agree with that. So. Next on the list, honestly, these next two on the list, I can honestly say we'll just do at the same time because you kind of don't use one without the other.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like if there was a way to explain Thermite and
I like
Thatcher's
best friends.
relationship, well, not even just that. It's like it's peanut butter and jelly. It's
Yeah,
macaroni and cheese. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like they are the duo. So it's like, and I'll be honest with you, the thing that I like about them is the same thing I like about all the other operators that are in GOAT tier is like you can use their ability any game, anytime, any round, any objective room that they go. You can use both of them in a tandem. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
it's gonna help the whole team because you're literally opening up a new way to get into the site where it allows the defenders not to have their same angles and their same sights. You know
yeah.
what I mean? They got to play different. You know?
And they both have like some of the best guns in the game.
Oh yeah,
Like
for sure, for sure. Both of
the
them
AR
have
that
really good
Thatcher
guns.
has is like
Yeah,
crazy. It
for
has
sure.
no recoil,
For
and
sure.
even the AR that fucking
Well, the
Thermite has is crazy.
Well, you know what's really nice about them too that doesn't really get talked about a lot either is that they both have claymores too. And so it's like a lot of times when you use Thermite and Thatcher, you know, you're breaching an exterior wall, you know, like a wall that's outside, you know? And a lot of
Yeah,
times when you're breaching a wall outside, a defender wants to run out on you, right? Like they want to try to get that quick peek on you, you know, so that you're at a disadvantage, you know? while you're trying to do
Mhm.
something else, while you're distracted, you know? So having those claymores for those guys is huge, you know what I mean? To kind of try to help stop those runouts, you know what I mean? It's huge for the whole team, you know? So with
Yeah.
that being said, I would automatically put both of these two in GO tier. Do you
Yeah.
agree?
Yep. Mhm.
Cool, cool. I like that because that knocks two off the list right away, and I think a lot of people would agree with that. You know what I mean? I don't think we're
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
I don't think honestly so far this whole list we haven't said anything that's too crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I think we're doing pretty good. Next on the list we have Twitch. Twitch I think is her gun is very funny. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
its
You have to be able
recoil
to
is
control it.
crazy, right? But it's
Yeah.
like it's because she has such a crazy fire rate too. Like if you're someone that can handle that recoil and you're good with it, you can snap on people and just eliminate them in a second. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I'll be honest, her gadget is decent. You know what I mean? I won't say it's the greatest because people can obviously if they see it they just shoot it and it's done. You know?
Yeah.
However, though, it does have the ability to get rid of a bandit or a mute or whatever it is that you most of the time need to get rid of. So I will say her F2 having that crazy recoil is her biggest like kind of letdown. However, I would still
Yeah.
say that she's pretty good. I'll be honest. I think she belongs in solid. You're not going to see her every single game like we talked about with all the other guys above, but you will see her occasionally like all
Yeah.
these other people in solid. And if someone's decent with her, they're going to do good, you know?
Mhm.
So, alrighty. Next on the list, we have Buck, and I'll let you take the first snap at this one with Buck. What do you think?
I to myself, I'm not insanely good with controllers recoil. I don't
Yeah,
know why.
yeah,
Because
on the
it's not like
full auto AR.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like crazy, but it's like
Yeah.
it's not like insanely.
No,
easy.
it is a little crazy. I'll be honest with you. It's literally kind of like a notch, in my opinion, under the F2 when it comes to the recoil.
Yeah.
You know, it is
Yeah.
pretty crazy. His DMR, I feel like, is really underrated. I feel like people just don't use it because
Yeah.
a lot of people try to stay away from DMRs if possible,
Mhm.
especially on
Yeah.
attack over defense. People use them on defense because they can have an ACOG, right? But it's like on attack, you don't really see people using DMRs because it's like a lot of times it's more beneficial once you push into the building to have an assault rifle or something that's closer range. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
all the people on defense are going to have a SMG for the most part. You know what I mean? And so it's
Yeah.
like if someone with an SMG swings on someone with a DMR, it's obviously not as good. You know what I mean? Like the DMR is probably going to lose unless he gets a headshot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with that being
I
said, though,
still
his
I still
ability's good,
say
right?
he's good. Yeah.
Yeah, his ability's good. I think the soft breaching into shit is really good too, you know. Or it's like if you want to play vertical with him too, it's really good, you know. So I
And
will say,
claymores.
what's that? He has claymores as
And
well.
he has claymores. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh, because did they take away his grenades? Didn't they?
Uh,
I think they
I don't
did,
know.
and then I think they gave him the hard breach. Remember? Because some of the operators have like the little hard breach. Remember?
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of solid, I think, of him. I will say, I think speaking of solid, that's I think where I would put him. I don't
Yeah.
think you're gonna see him every single game, but I think he's still a pretty good operator. You know.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Next on this list, is Frost, and I'll be honest with you. I used to be a pretty big Frost main. However, I think as you get into the higher ranks, I think people start to like obviously check for that kind of shit, especially if they spot you in a drone during drone phase or whatever. They're
Yeah.
gonna check for those a lot of times, you know. And
Most people drone now. So.
yeah, most people are gonna drone that, shoot them, get rid of them. However, I will say her SMG, she's the only operator that has it, and I think it's a really good SMG. You can put an ACOG scope on it now too. On top of the fact that she also has the secondary shotgun, that makes her pretty good too. As far as like you can obviously put your frost mats down, and then like if somebody does drop into one, you know, say they don't drone, you can put shotgun holes above it and watch down below. You know what I mean? Watch where your frost mats are. So I think she is good for certain situations. However, I don't see her being in pretty good or go. I think she could be in solid. If you don't think solid, then mid at the worst.
Yeah.
What do you
I think
think?
solid.
Solid?
For
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. I would agree with that. Next on the list, we have Captain Blackbeard. Now, I'll let you take
think-
first snap at this
I
one.
I think this is our next trash. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest.
Okay, so you were saying essentially that you think he's going to be our next one in the trash category because the glass pretty much just breaks pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I would
remember
agree with
seeing
you.
a video on
Yeah.
the old Blackbeard,
Yeah.
and I was just astonished because like
He used to be
I
super
seen it,
OP back in the day.
bro. It was not breakable. It was crazy.
Right. And like, let's be honest too. Like back in the day, like a lot of times, like I feel like nowadays people roam a lot more, on Siege.
Mhm.
As far as like defenders, right? Like a lot of people roam more now than they did back then. Like
Mhm.
back in the day, a lot of people just would play sight and play just near objective. And Blackbeard would a lot of times be good for like if there was an objective where it was up in a window, he would just window peek you all day, and it's like pick off people, easy, But it's like now the nerfs hit him so hard with that glass shield that it's like even if they give him 2 or 3, it's like it's not that good. I mean, his guns are kind of mid too, honestly. Like they're just it's all around.
Yeah.
He after the nerfs, he's all around just not that good anymore.
Yeah.
So that being said, we'll go ahead and put him in trash. Next on the list, we have Valkyrie, and I'll be honest, back in the day, I think Valkyrie was really good. Her SMG is still really good, the MPX. However, I will say one thing that I don't like about her that they changed is now you can't throw Valkyrie cameras outside, and I think that was one of the best things about her.
I think they're changing actually.
If they change it back where she can throw them outside, I would have her probably higher up. But as it is now,
I think she's still great, honestly.
I think she's great, but I think she's not higher than solid, bro. I'll be honest with you. I don't see people using her every single game. You know what I mean? Like, at best,
Yeah,
I could put her
I
as
definitely see
solid,
that.
honestly. Like, her cameras are still good if you know, like good places to
Good
put them.
spots.
Because, like, if
Her
you just put
guns
them,
is
if you just put them
ridiculous as
anywhere,
well.
though, bro, like, people will just shoot them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
especially if you have, like, idiot, like, teammates who, like, hard ping on them, like, red ping on them. People are just going to look
Yeah.
for them, find them, and shoot them. But if you can get them in a
Yeah.
good spot and you have good communication, you have teammates that only yellow ping, like soft ping, then you're good. You know what I mean? Like, she's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Like you said, her gun's good. She has a nitro cell. I mean, she is all around a pretty solid operator. It's just, I
Yeah.
would put her up more if I saw more people playing as her and if you could throw cameras outside again.
I'm
You
pretty
know?
sure they're changing that soon.
Like I said,
Because,
and if they do, I would move her up. When they do,
yeah.
I would definitely move her up. But I gotta say it as it is right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, alrighty. Next on the list, we have Capitao, and I'll let you kind of take first stab at this one for Capitao because I'm actually kind of interested to see what you got to say for this one.
I don't know.
I'll be honest.
him
I think
a
he's
couple
mid.
ti-
I think he's mid as fuck.
Yeah. I ran him a couple times recently, and he has like he's a 3-speed, which people don't notice.
Right.
Like nobody ever realizes that he's a 3-speed,
Right.
and just to be a 3-speed's like,
I'll be honest. Like, if you want to first talk about his gadget, like, it's
schedule.
the fire and the smoke. I feel like are really only good if you're playing on with a stack of players, on your team.
Yeah.
And you are all communicating like, hey, you go this, you go this, you go this, and I'll go Capitao and we'll plant. Like, that's like when he's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is like when you're actually communicating with everybody. You have somebody who's gonna plant. He smokes it out. He puts the fire on the rotation so nobody can rotate on him. Like that, I would say is when he's pretty good. His guns, I've already kind of told you earlier when we talked about Brava. I don't really care for his
the M2
guns.
and
Yeah.
The
And the LMG.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the M2 is LMG.
Okay, then the other one's like called like the Parabellum, some shit like that. I don't know. It's like
I don't know.
Anyways, though, I would have to say highest I'd put him
Mid.
is mid or solid, and yeah, I just don't see as much people playing as him as even all these other people that we put up here. So I just don't think he's just not as good, So with that being said, we'll move on to Capitao's counterpart, which is Caveira. They came out obviously at the same time. I would say, honestly, back in the day, Caveira would honestly be as good as GOAT tier, but I wouldn't say that Caveira is GOAT tier now. However, though, I could still pretty much see her being in solid or pretty good. What do you think?
I'd put her pretty good just because, like, interrogation.
Yeah, interrogations are huge.
Through the whole entire of this game, it's always been the best like
Right. But
one
you
of the
got to but you got to
best
think about
things.
this. You got to think about this. There's certain things you got to do when you play Caviera, right? Like first thing you do as Caviera is during drone phases, you got to try and go somewhere and hide. You don't want them to
Uh-huh.
know during drone phase that there's a Caviera because as soon as they know
Yeah,
that there's a Caviera, they're just going to roll with multiple people, And it's like
yeah.
the thing that I've seen that is good about Caviera, and we watched that video earlier that was with those Pro League clips and stuff.
Mhm.
The thing that with Caviera that you got to have is trigger discipline, And it's like if you see somebody walk in the room, know that there's probably going to be somebody else with them, and like know when's the right time to engage the fight. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
a lot of times, I think the mistake that like lower rank people make when they play Caviera is they down the first person they see, and then they automatically go for the interrogation. And it's like most of the time there's going to be a teammate that's not that far away. Like even the other day,
yeah,
like or even yesterday, I think it was.
yeah. Yesterday,
We were playing. I was getting interrogated, and you were not that
and
far
I ran
away, and you
over him.
ran over and killed him. It's like if that Caviar was smart, he waits a few seconds, baits me, see if there's anyone nearby, and then kills you first, and then
Yeah,
interrogates me, or vice
and I
versa.
accidentally killed you too.
Right, and I
I
mean that's
remember
gonna
that.
happen. Like that sucked, obviously, but it's like that happens. I would rather the other team, like the rest of the team, not get the knowledge of where everyone else is
Yeah,
at, and I
yeah,
die, type shit. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
with that being said, I will say she's pretty good. She's pretty damn good.
yep. Pretty good.
I would
I
say,
always see people
I
run here too,
yeah
all
yeah
the time.
yeah. I would almost damn near put her in go. It's just I think people have gotten smarter that play this game, and they don't
Yeah.
really play solo, like pushing by themselves as much anymore, unless they're low rank. And then it's just you can kind of rat her out. You can drone her out. And there's other ways to counter her. It's just she's really good in all other
Mhm.
aspects.
Yeah.
All right, next on the list we have Echo. What do you think about Echo? I'll let you get first stab at this one.
Right now, I think he's really good
Yeah.
just because of how. I mean, I get that you can like hear it,
Right.
but say you're like
And you can see it now.
you're
It's
the
not cloaked
last.
anymore, right?
Yeah. Say you're the last person like alive, and you're like across the map.
Right.
You just throw one of your drones and
Can
say
still
they're
deny
like
the plant.
planning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just denies it, and like
Right.
they
I
can't do
think
nothing
that's
about it
really good about him,
unless shooting your drone.
right, and I do think that it's good that he has two drones. Like it obviously makes it
Mhm.
better. I will say, I would honestly back in the day, like way back in the day of Echo, I would have put him in GOAT tier. I will say
Yeah.
now I wouldn't put him in GOAT tier because for one, they took away his ACOG. Two, they made it so you can actually see his drones now. They're not cloaked or anything. Because back when they were cloaked, it was damn near impossible almost to see them unless you were like really focusing, And it's
Mhm.
hard to really focus when you're worried about other people trying to shoot you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll be honest now, you don't see him as much. I'll be really honest. When people do run him, it is still annoying, but you don't see it as honest. I'll be honest. I gotta put him solid. I can't put him higher than that, really. I want to just because of like what you said, but I would put him as equal as all these other people, like where you don't see him every single game, but when you do see him, he's still pretty good,
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
All right, cool. All right, next we'll go on to Habana. I'll take first stab at this one for Habana. I'll say this, kind of like Echo. Back in the day, she was a lot better, right? Since then, they've came out with operators like Ace, where it's like I think Ace kind of does damn near the same thing as her, but kind of at a faster, better rate. I think people like using Ace's guns more than they like using Habana's. Habana is still good though, in the sense that she's a hard breacher. By default, that makes her at least decent. You know what I mean? Because anyone that can hard breach into there, it just adds. It's kind of like what we've already talked about with Thermite. When you can hard breach into a room, it adds a new entry point. It adds a new way that, like, a new area where defenders have to be like, oh shit, watch out for this area. However, I will say her AR, it doesn't have very many bullets in the mag. It only has like 20 or something like that, like really low amount. Her gun with ACOG and like more zoomed in scopes has like a lot of recoil, I will say, I think, in my opinion. And then just her things are kind of super slow to go off her gadget.
Yeah.
So that's another thing about that I will say that makes her worse than Ace 2 is like with Habana, you actually have to have the gun out, the gadget, her gun. You have to have that
Yeah.
out in your hands. Whereas like Ace,
Yeah.
you just throw it. You throw it up and then you're back with your gun. You know what I mean? Like pretty much right away almost, you know? So I
Yeah.
will say this. I would honestly really put Havana at mid, if not bad. What do you think?
Yeah.
I think I have to
I'd
put her
probably
at
put her at
mid.
mid.
I think I gotta
Yeah.
put her at mid. I regretted saying bad right away because like I said, she is a hard reacher, so she can still be decent. But yeah, definitely mid. You know, you don't see her that often, you know?
Yeah.
Alrighty, next on the list we have Jackal. I will let you take first stab at this one. This one's really interesting in my
Um,
opinion.
I don't know. Like, he gets banned
Yep,
like almost
e-
every game,
exactly. So that's
but
value, right? Like that has to have some sort of
yeah.
value, you know?
But recently, like my last like 2 or 3 games, he actually hasn't got banned for some reason.
Yeah,
So I think he's like more less of a target to get
yeah.
banned.
What do you think about
Like
his
super
gadget though?
recently.
Like I think it's pretty good that like when he scans footprints, like here's the thing that makes him
Yeah.
I think really good to where everyone wants to ban him is
Yeah.
that his gadget once he scans the footprints, it shows everybody the pings where he's at. It doesn't just show him, right? Right? Like
Yeah.
if it just showed him, it would be pretty shitty, right? Like it would be like, oh yeah, it's just a jackal going on his own little solo mission type shit, unless he communicates it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the fact that it automatically pings it for everybody else to see without communication, I think is pretty OP. You know, and it's like the only way you really counter him is if you have other people that are roaming where they don't see his footprints, you know, or like a Caviera, you know, like obviously Caviera when she's in her silent step, Jackal can't track that, right? That's like really the only person whose footprints he can't see, you know what I mean? I will say this too, his guns you have to admit are pretty solid. The CA assault rifle and that other PDW one, they're pretty
Yeah.
solid guns, you know what I mean?
They are good.
I'll say this. I won't put him go. I don't know. That's hard. I almost want to put him go, but I will say I think he's pretty good. Just part of me
Yeah,
says
that's
he's
where
more
I put
pretty
him.
good than goat, but I can't really explain why. You know, but I did explain all the reasons why I think he deserves to be pretty good. You agree with that? All you think?
Yep. Yep. I like
Okay.
that one.
Cool. All right. Next on the list we have Mira, which is Jackal's counterpart. What do you think of Mira? I'll let you take first one on this one.
Honestly, I love Mira just because of like I just like her ability of like just you can
Being
see
able
them
to
and they
see through
cannot see
a
you.
hard breach. You can literally
Yeah,
see
it's
through a
just
hard wall,
crazy.
like a reinforced wall. Like
And that's why she always. I mean, she doesn't get banned that often, but she does get banned
on
sometimes. It
certain
depends who you're
maps,
going against.
I will say
Yeah.
this: if you're playing a map like Oregon, she needs to get banned. If you're playing a map like Bank, she needs to get banned. You know what I mean? Like because
Yeah.
those have certain objective rooms where it's like if you put her shit down and you play it right, like you have someone that runs like a bandit and like or like a mute that jams the wall where her thing is, like and you don't let them get close to it, or they don't have an ash, like you can choke off a whole area. You know what I mean? Like a whole side of the objective. So, and her gun, the fucking Vector or whatever it's called, it
Yeah.
shoots so damn fast. Like it has
Yeah.
probably the fastest fire rate in the whole game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
With all that being said, I really would put her in pretty good. I think that's another.
Yeah.
I think she fits along with Jackal up in this area. The only reason I don't put her in GOAT compared to other defenders is because she's not good on every single site. I will say that she's not good. Her ability is not good on every site. And the other thing I don't like about her ability too is, and the thing that kind of triggered me, like one time when I played as her not that long ago, was someone ran Ash, right? And they immediately just shot an Ash breach at my Mira, and it cracks it, it blows it up. You know what I mean? Or like it cracks it, you know, so you can't see through it. You know, and it's like, what do I do as a Mira like player operator to stop that? There's nothing I can do to stop her shooting her grenade launcher other than I try to shoot her in the head before she does it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is one thing like I would say is like you if you break her glass on her Mira, then she it's obviously not useful, you know.
Yeah.
Other than that though, we'll go ahead and move on to the next operator since we agree on that one, and we'll say we got Legion here. What do you think?
A lot of people don't really use him.
Right,
I use
right,
him,
right.
but
So I think at
he,
highest you can put him solid so far with what you're saying.
yeah, his ability is like really good just because as soon as you hit one,
It does good
people like
damage, honestly. It
people
does.
yeah, people instantly want to go take it out,
Right.
obviously.
Right.
So they're, because yeah,
Right.
it does do quite a bit of damage.
Right.
But another side effect that kind of sucks that he got nerfed
Is
is
that you
that
can
you can
see
actually
it.
see it.
Yep. Yep.
So
I was
yeah, it
gonna
definitely
say
got nerfed.
he would be in pretty good or go if you couldn't see his things anymore like you could back in the day, and they did as much damage as they do now, because when back in the day when you couldn't see them, I think they only did like 5 damage per tick, like something like that. It now that you can see them, they do like 15 damage per tick. Like it's
Yeah,
pretty insane. Like if you leave it in, it's like you go 15, 30, 45,
yeah,
boom, like, and you only got your 100 health, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
15, like, yeah. And on top of that,
and
if you
the
run into 2, imagine that's if you run into 1.
yeah,
If you
yeah,
run into 2,
hmm
it stacks.
yeah.
So yeah,
If
I mean,
you if
yeah.
you like are good with like really fast shooting guns, he also has a T5, which is like
Are you talking
one of
about
the
the
best guns
shotgun?
in the game. No, it's his
Oh, the
SMG
SMG. Yeah,
gun.
yeah, yeah.
Oryx has it as well.
Right,
That's why
right.
Oryx was usually so good because he had the 1.5 and
Yep.
you know
Yeah, true. I agree
that.
with that. Um, I would say that one thing too that's nice about Legion is he has impact grenades. That's always a bonus too. Um, I think honestly overall, I would put Legion in solid. I think when we talked about that earlier, I think that was
Yeah,
pretty fitting. Um, you don't see him as much as like all the operators above. You don't see him every single game, but you will see him a good amount. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And like we already said, everything about his gadget is there's good things and there's bad things, and then his gun is pretty good. So yeah, I agree with all of
yeah,
that. Next one on this list, I'm gonna start off with this one, and you already kind of know because I've expressed it in the past how I feel
yep.
about this operator, and that operator is Ying. I'll go ahead and get mine out of the way because I have a passion of hating this fucking operator. Like Ying, in my opinion, and I know you've already heard it, but I gotta say it again. She's a selfish operator, in my opinion. Like, you literally, in my opinion, have to push alone when you're playing pretty much Ying, because it's like, yeah, you can have your teammates get back, but like that in that time where you're pushing to have to communicate to your teammates to get back, like, is just annoying. Like her ability, like, it would be one thing if her Yings didn't flash your teammates, the other attackers. The fact that that it can flash you as well just makes it so it's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I've been playing with people who were Ying before and like got flashed by them, and it's like I literally have to like go prone in like a corner somewhere and wait, bro. It's like, wow, that
hmm
motherfucker's pushing. Because you know what? Like, a lot of times when you're pushing with someone that's Ying, they throw their Yings and then they go and push while everyone else has to wait, right? And then it's like, boom, they get picked off, and then it's like, oh, cool. That was cool, man. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like
Yeah,
her, I will say this: the thing, I won't put her in trash. All right, like I automatically will not put her in trash because her gun is pretty good. That AR LMG style gun, that's a pretty
hmm
damn solid gun. Um, and I will say, if you are pushing by yourself with her, you can be pretty successful. Um, I just can't put her. I can't put her go. Obviously, I can't put her pretty good. I will at best put her in solid or mid. I'm leaning more towards mid at the best, though. Honestly, what do you think?
um, I don't know. Like,
If you really think
it's
she's good,
hard.
I'll put solid. If you are just thinking, yeah, whatever her, then I'd say mid.
It's hard just because of like, if you actually know how to play her. I don't know if some people don't realize this, but some people will literally just like instantly throw it.
Right, you
But
can
some
cook them and
people
all
don't.
that.
Yeah, some people don't know you could actually just cook them and then like throw them down, and it's like basically like an impact,
Right, right.
impact
I will
flash.
say too that like another version of her that I feel like I don't see people use is like the fact that she can like place her gadget down on a soft thing and
Yeah,
it'll go
I've
through it too,
seen
like
that.
a fuse, you know? Like,
Mhm.
I feel like you don't see people doing that as often, and I feel like there could be some good scenarios to do something like that too, like place one down, go push somewhere else, then like call your flashes in and then go push from somewhere else type shit, you know? I
Yeah,
think that there could be instances where that's good too. I think if I'm being
I put her
honest and I'm
as
being
solid.
fair, I'd put her solid. If I'm being fair.
Yep.
Oh, that hurts me though. I almost want to put her mid, but we'll leave her solid. We'll leave her solid. That'll be one that I do for you there. Next on this one we have Ella. Right off the bat think Ella's really good. Her gun is really solid. It used to have like kind of a crazy recoil back in the day, I feel like, or
It's
even not
good
that long
now.
ago. But they've, I think, since then kind of fixed it and made it so it's like not that crazy anymore. Like her gun is
Dude,
really
so
good.
fast as well.
And she has a bigger
Like,
mag on her SMG than most other
yeah,
operators too. It's like a 50 round mag. It's something pretty
yeah,
decent. So, and I think her gadgets are pretty good too. Like, I mean, if somebody doesn't see it and they step in the area of it, like it really fucks you up.
yeah.
pretty damn good. So, I'll be honest. I would put Ella in my opinion. I don't. See, the thing is this is one where I might break my own rule right here. Is like I don't see people using her every single game, but I still think she deserves to be up and pretty good. What do you think?
Yeah.
I think she's just underrated in the sense that people don't use her because they're afraid of
I'd
her
honestly
gun.
put her there.
So, I think pretty good is a good place to put her. You agree?
Yep.
Okay. Moving on to the next one, we have Sophia. I'll let you take first stab at this one and tell me what you think.
Um, like a little while ago, like a couple months ago, I used to actually main Sophia
Yeah.
just because of her gun and her
The
abilities.
AK one or the
Mhm.
LMG? Yeah,
Not
the AK.
not the LMG.
Right. Okay.
Um, she's kind of like an Ash, but a little bit
Yeah.
slower.
Yeah,
And
and she has the concussion grenade things that she could shoot out
yeah,
too.
yeah. So I don't know. I really like her, but I
Yeah.
never really see anybody play her recently. So I'd
Yeah.
honestly go.
Well,
I'd go
you know
solid.
what? You know what? Back in the day, I would put her in pretty good or go because
Yeah.
of one thing that they changed about her that she doesn't have now. She used to have that last stand ability too. I don't know if you remember that. When you would get downed as her,
Oh
you
yeah, I
could
could
pick
self
yourself back
res.
up, but you would only have like like 1 health or like 5 health or some shit like that, And it
Hmm.
was that was kind of like clutch, but they took that away, because it was like they thought I guess it was too clutch or whatever, or too OP,
Yeah.
whatever, you know. I say bring it back because it's like now you have every single time like people running Rook, and so they like the defenders can get back up. Why not? Why take away an attacking operator that can do the same thing as everyone else on defense most of the time?
Yeah.
So for that simple fact, I wouldn't put her in GOAT or pretty good because they took that away. I will be fair with you though and say that I could see her being solid, and especially if you have someone who is like good with her.
Yeah.
Alrighty, next on the list we have Dokubi. I'll take first stab at this one. I think Dokubi is obviously really, really good. I mean, she's one of the top attack operators that gets banned all the time. Obviously, you know that. Her DMR is obviously pretty solid. I mean, she has the shotgun, but obviously it's only a double barrel or whatever. It only shoots 2 shots. The
Mhm.
DMR though is pretty solid. It has a pretty decent fire rate. You can have ACOG on it, whatever, all that. But the calling ability is really OP, especially if the Dokubi's pushing with people. Like if if you hear someone's phone going off, like a roamer, like a lot of times that roamer is gonna be screwed. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
gives away roamers like really easily, and really well. On top of that, what is an underrated part of her gadget is the ability to hack the phones and get the cameras, right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like people don't really go into thinking about that part of her ability that much, because it's kind of like a secondary ability of hers. But really, in reality, if you have a team that has good communication, like communicating through those cameras could be huge. You know what I mean? Especially if the defender is not aware that the cameras have been hacked. Then they obviously are gonna stay up. If a defender is smart, if they know that they have a Dokubi, they're gonna shoot out the cameras. You know what I mean? Like that's what a defender
Yeah.
should do if they have a Dokubi. But people don't think about that, especially in the lower ranks. So, with all that being said, in my opinion, I would automatically got to put her up in pretty good. I would put her GOAT if she had a better primary, like an assault rifle or something like that was like good. But I think her DMR does hinder her a little bit. The SMG secondary is okay; it's not that great either. But her gadget is obviously huge, and I think that's what puts her at pretty good.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Hmm.
You agree
I
with all that?
I agree. Yep.
Cool. Alrighty, we'll put her in pretty good. Next on the list we got Vigil, and I'll let you take first stab at this one, and then I'll add on.
Um, I'm instantly gonna say this.
What's
I'd
that?
probably put him in trash, just
Yeah,
because,
right. What?
like, I don't know. It's just like,
Really?
I don't know. His character is just like so bad. It's like
Oh man, I'll
it's
be
like
honest with you.
only
That's
his
that's
gun.
like one of
It's
the
only
first
his gun.
his yeah, but that's
I
gotta
feel.
give him. You gotta give him points then at least for that. Trash means like your gadget sucks and your guns suck. Like everything about you kind of sucks. You know, if his gun's
Well,
good, you gotta. What's that?
Grimm's guns don't really suck. The Commando's not bad.
It's not bad, but it's not like, oh, I'm gonna pick Grim to use his gun. You know what I mean? You're not doing that. You know what I mean? And there is certain operators where it's like, yeah, I will pick them to because I like their gun. You know.
Hmm.
But you don't see no one. What I'm getting at is you would see someone more oftentimes pick Vigil because of his gun than you would see people pick Grim because of his gun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I will say this. I agree with you in the sense that he's not in the GOAT category. He's not in pretty good. You don't see him every single game. I think you got to put him solid, though, in the sense that his gun's good. He has impacts, which is obviously, I think any operator that has impacts and can create rotations or break hatches, do all that kind of stuff, is really good. That's
I
a
put
really
him
good
at
thing.
mid then.
Mid? But, dude, you
Yeah.
understand that, like, one of the biggest parts of the game is droning, right? And he makes it so that you can't see the person on the drone.
But it's just him, and you can still tell when he's nearby.
Yeah. So you think mid, huh?
Yep.
All right. All right. I'll go with it. I'll go with it just because his gadget is not as good as I think what people think.
Hmm.
It's pretty mid. I agree with that. His gun, I think I will stand with saying that it's a really good gun. It's one of the best guns in my opinion on defense.
Yeah.
uh,
I'm not saying it's bad either. I'm just
yeah,
saying,
yeah,
like off
um,
of its ability, I'd probably put him in trash
yeah, yeah,
or bad. Maybe not even trash actually.
yeah. Um, all right. So next on the list we have Finka. In my opinion, I'll be honest. I think Finka is mid. Uh, well, I could put her in
I put
solid.
her as solid,
I could put her
honestly.
solid, definitely if you have the right person running her too.
I
I
mean, she
will.
heals the whole team, so
Yeah, true. And actually, doesn't it heal you to full health or something? Or do you know how much it heals
no,
you?
it heals you like 20 or 30, but still good.
Yeah, and I know it can pick up people that are down too, so that's kind of
Hmm.
good, obviously. Her guns are honestly not that bad either. So yeah, solid. I think is a good one for her. Cause just like we said earlier, you don't see her as much as all the other people every game too. So I think that's a pretty good spot for her. Her gadget's pretty simple. There's not really much else to talk about. Her guns are pretty, pretty good too. Next on the list we have Lion. Obviously you know me. I like running Lion a lot. He's one of my favorite operators. I think his gun is really really good. It doesn't have crazy recoil. It has a little bit, but not too crazy. And then like obviously his primary gun too. Like on top of the recoil not being bad, it's also like a 50 round like mag, something like that. And he has three uses of his gadget, which obviously when you use it, it makes it so that they can't run, or if they do, they get pinged. And that ping will show obviously to everybody, so I think that's pretty good. Being fair though, his scans don't really last that long, and obviously his gun only benefits him; it doesn't benefit other people.
Yeah.
I'd say honestly, he's solid. I wouldn't
Yeah,
say,
I probably put him there as well.
I don't,
With Finka.
I don't think you see him every single game, but I think when you do see him, he's pretty useful. He's pretty good.
Uh-huh.
All right. On top of that, or next, or not on top of that, but next we have Alibi. I'll let you take first stab at this one, and what do you think?
Um, I I like her a lot just because
Her gun's pretty good. I will say that.
her gun's pretty good. It shoots really fast,
Right.
and she's not like a slow character either.
Right.
And
Right.
you know,
And she's got the
you could
pistol that the
yeah.
revolver that can break holes in walls and stuff too.
I like to put her in front of windows because some people like to you know, shoot out windows,
Oh
and
yeah. I always
I
like to
like
put it in windows
also
and doorways because it's like especially if you put it in a spot too where it's hard for them to like shoot out the bottom part, because obviously you can only break it if you shoot
yeah.
out the bottom piece, right? Um,
Mhm.
if you put it in a spot where they can't really see that, like it's huge. Like if they shoot your alibi, it gives away where they're at, like to everybody. You know what I mean? That's pretty
Mhm.
damn good. I will say though, however, if you're a high ranked player and you know that they have alibi, Like, if you have good trigger discipline, which we've kind of talked about earlier, like as an attacker, you're not just gonna shoot one of her things right away. And I think that's like what kind of limits her. Like, it makes it so you can't really put her in the go or pretty good category. I could honestly, highest I would say putting her would be solid, just because she's got a good gun, her gadget's decent. What do you think?
I also like her with if you put her under a hatch and they like step like if they fall on it,
True. Yeah,
it
I've never seen
also
someone use it like that,
marks
but
them.
yeah, yeah, that's true.
Kind of like how you like were saying about Thorn, how they drop their hatch, it will activate it.
Right, right.
It you can also do that with Alibi, but they could just shoot it, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But usually when they drop, they're looking for like people. Or,
right,
like,
right.
yeah.
I'll be honest. I think I would have to put her. I'll be honest. The highest I'd put her is solid. But if you don't think she's solid, I would put her lower
put
at
her-
mid.
I
Either
put
one.
her at solid. I
Solid.
put her at
Okay,
solid.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
Next on the list we have Maestro, and I will be honest with you. This is another one of those kind of like Ella where I might almost break my rule. I think Maestro, if you have someone who's really good with him, he's actually super
He's
clutch.
so good. He's so good. I love using him.
Like, bro, his camera, like, if you can deny a plant too, just kind of like an echo in the same sense, you know, because it's like, if someone is like automatically right off the rip, if you have someone that's an attacker that is low health, like because they got shot at or they hit a trap or something, Maestro can most of the time kill them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty fucking easy. That's why, like, as soon as attackers see that there's a Maestro and they find his camera, they need to do everything they can to try to break it without getting themselves killed. You know what I mean? Because it will haunt them later in the round when it comes down to needing to plant and that thing is still there and he's still alive, you know? Plus, his LMG is not bad either. He has a fucking LMG that has it's not crazy recoil, and obviously with it being an LMG, it has a large mag, you know? His one downside is that he's a big boy. He can't run fast. You know, that's his biggest issue. I will be straight up honest with you. I don't use him as much, but I see a lot of pro people using him. I would put him pretty good. What do you think?
Yep, I'd probably put him there as well.
I think that's a fair spot to put him. Next on the list, we'll put Clash. Oh, we got Clash. Oh, hold on, let me restart it. All right, next on the list we have Clash. What do you think about Clash? And then I'll give my take.
I don't like her one bit. I'm gonna just say that off the start. But
right.
She is
do you not like her though, in the sense like you don't like going up against her?
I don't like going.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
And
but that adds value
really
to her,
right?
Her. Right? You can't put her in trash because it is annoying to go against her, and you know that's why she gets banned. However, I will say this though. Her gadget is only good as a support. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you're a decent player, if she's by herself and it's a 1v1, like, I'll be honest, you should be able to, I mean, it's hard to say this, but like, you should be able to figure out a way to get close enough to her where you can melee her and shoot her, you know, once her shield gets put to the side, you know, or, you know, figure out something like that. But I will say this, like, the fact that she, unlike other shield operators, can't have her gun out at the same time as her shield makes it kind of hard, you know what I mean? Because people will either grenade her or whatever, you know, or use their abilities on her or get close to her and melee her, and then she can't really do shit, you know what I mean? But because of all those other reasons of her being annoying, though, I'm not going to put her low. I'll say this. When she doesn't get banned and people actually use her, she's solid. I would say that.
Yep.
I'd say that. She's not as bad as all these other ones, I would say. And I still can't believe we got Vigil down here, but it's all right. We'll move on. But I think that's a good spot for Clash being solid. Alrighty, next on the list we have Maverick, and I'll take first stab at this one. I think Maverick's guns right off the bat are pretty good, whether you use the M4, I think it is, or whatever, and you use the DMR. I think both guns are pretty solid. His ability, I think, is honestly pretty good too, especially in the right hands. I mean, you could use it just for peeks, you know, or you can use it to, you know, try to get rid of a, you know, like a bandit charge or a Kaid, or, whatever, a mute jammer, you can use it for all those various reasons, or you can even just straight up use it and make a little hole in the corner or whatever to go through, crawl through, whatever. So
Yeah.
I think with all that being said, that automatically kind of makes him like pretty good. With all those things being said, and he's not like a fat boy, he's not slow or anything, so I think with all those things being said, I think that grants him kind of, I think you do see a Maverick just about almost every game, you know what I mean? Maybe not 100% every game, but it's pretty common that you see him, I think. So I think,
Yeah.
in my opinion, I would put him in pretty good. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree.
You agree? Okay. Next on the list, we have Kaid. I'll let you take first stab at this one, and then I'll do my opinion.
I mean, he's like, he's a Bane character, so
right.
I'd instantly put him like pretty good.
Yeah.
Just because, even if people usually think, it's good. The little thing is gonna be like where the
like right on the wall, or yeah. I get you.
But you can literally put it like
underneath, or even just off to the side, like not even on
realize.
it. Yeah, 100%.
And it can get 3.
Like, dude, let me tell you, when you play maps like Clubhouse and say you go like Cash Room, right, where it has that outside wall, dude, you put that shit underneath, bro, and you're not getting that shit unless you have someone push in underneath and go destroy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it forces you to play the game a different way. On top of that, like you said, he's a hard breach denier, which automatically puts him in a good spot. Like we have Bandit and Mute up in the GOAT category for a reason, because that is you can use them anywhere, anytime, any round, like I've already said for other operators, So I think that automatically puts him up. On top of that, too, I think I am going to put him in GOAT, honestly. Because realistically, the only thing that is not good about Kaid is that he's slow. That is the legit only thing that's not good about him. He has good guns. His SMG is pretty decent. It has like literally no recoil. And on top of that, he has the shotgun that has an ACOG scope that is really OP. Like if you hit, shotgun shots pretty good with, headshots, whatever. On top of that, he has a nitro cell that, so that's obviously really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with all those things being said, I think he does belong in GOAT category,
Yeah.
It's just, anytime you have a breach denier, automatically is really good. On top of that, he's got a good loadout, so. All right, next on that list, we have Nomad. And I'll take first stab at this one. I don't think you see Nomad every game. And that's just kind of my opinion right off the bat. So I don't think she can be in GOAT or pretty good. I think that kind of eliminates her from that. Her loadout is decent. You got the AK looking gun. I forget exactly what it's called. And then you have the other one that's like the AMR or something like that. Both guns are solid. They're not terrible guns. Her gadget is good in the sense of like cutting off like rotations from like roamers. So I think that's pretty good, about her. Or like if like you get a plant off, you can like put one on the diffuser or like from a rotation near the diffuser. So I think those things are pretty good about her. However, you have to be in the line of sight of where you're shooting her thing. That kind of hinders it. At the same time, I just feel like you don't see her as much. You know what I mean? Like she's not an operator that gets banned either.
She's definitely good though, because
like all those reasons we said.
Her abilities, it makes a sound, but it's not like crazy loud.
Yeah, true.
And literally,
it knocks people down. So I mean,
it can push you through walls, like soft walls.
Yeah,
I think it's really good.
Yeah,
and you have to wait a second to get back up. Like,
right.
I think it's good.
I think it is good too, but for the simple things that I said before, I don't think you can put
you
her
definitely
as
do
high.
not see it every game, but I put it as solid.
Yeah, I think solid's a pretty good spot for her. And I know by looking at this list now, like we have so many people that are in solid, but like to those of you who are watching this video that don't play this game like a lot, you play it either casually or not at all. Like this is what makes Rainbow Six Siege a good game, is that there's a lot of operators that you can use that are good. It's like, it's not like other games where it's like there's like 100% a meta. You know what I mean? Like you gotta run like this one thing. You gotta run this one thing every single time, or you're gonna fucking lose. You know what I mean? Like Rainbow Six has gotten it down pretty good, where it's like we give these certain operators this ability with this nitro cell or impact, and they make them like round. You know what I mean? They make them so that they're all can be used. You know, and like one person's not crazy better than the other. You know, because like I've had people who like when I try to get them to play Siege, they're like, oh. Is it pay to win? You know, like if you have one operator and somebody doesn't have that operator, like are they going to be at a disadvantage? And no, it's not like that. You know what I mean? Like not really, in my opinion. Like
Yeah.
now, are there some operators that you should always run? Yes, but at the same time, they don't make it impossible to get those operators. You know what I mean? You have the in-game currency. You can buy them with real money,
Yeah.
whatever. You know. So altogether, I just wanted to make a point. You know, for people who are watching the video that see that there's a lot of people in solid or above solid. That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. You know, it's a good thing to have a lot of good operators. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, all right. Next on the list we have Gridlock. I'll let you take first stab at this one, and then I'll add on.
I I don't know. Like she's good, but like, you know, her ability, just off of her ability, I think it could be good if you're like needing to plant really fast.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I
you
I
like need
I
to
think
stop
she's
them
solid.
from coming somewhere.
I think she's
I
pretty
put her
solid right off
solid.
bat. I
Yeah.
will say this: her
Not bad
guns,
guns either.
her guns are pretty good. Her gadget is really good too because it's like not only like okay, so these as a defender, these are your two options when you run into her gadget, right? Because for those of you who don't know, she throws down a gadget that deploys a bunch of spikes, right? Like a bunch of spike things on the ground. And your option when you run into the area where all her spikes are is you can either A, walk through them without shooting them, and it takes not only does it do damage to you, but it slows you down, or B, you shoot them, and it doesn't take very many bullets to break them, obviously, but it's like by the end when you're shooting them, you give away your position and they know where you're at. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like an alarm for them, you know, like a cutoff alarm, you know? So
Mhm.
I think all of those things add on to what you said, make her a solid operator and a pretty good choice. However, like we said, you can't put her in GOAT or pretty good because you don't see her every game, you know?
Yeah. And you could literally just shoot her things too.
Right. Or impact them or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Next on the list, we have Mozzie, and this one is really interesting. I'll take first stab at this one and then get your input. The first thing I will say about him that is probably one of the best things about him is his loadout, right? Both of his guns, his SMGs, are pretty damn good, you know? Whether you use the Commando or the one that starts with the P, the other one.
P10 Ronnie.
Yeah, they're pretty good, right? Obviously, they have pretty good fire rates, pretty decent recoil control, all that kind of stuff. His secondary, he has the super shorty shotgun, which is cool for like rotations or hatches, whatever you need, you know. On top of that, he's not a fat boy operator. He's not slow, you know. He's pretty mobile. And then when you finally get down to his gadget is cool. Don't get me wrong. It does make it so obviously like drone, like when during drone phase, you don't want to push the objective, you know, like because you're like, oh shit, Mozzie, you know, like don't push it, you know. But when he does get a drone, like if you can figure out good drone placements around the maps, like in the maps of the game, you can figure out good drone placements. Like to get a drone as a Mozzie and put it in a good spot, like you can provide pretty good knowledge and information to the rest of the team based off of his drones. You know what I mean? If they don't get shot, you know. You there?
Yep. Sorry.
Okay, so yeah, so basically,
Spacing out.
you're good, dude. You're good. Basically, overall, based off of all those things that I said, I would say that Mozzie, I would say he's pretty good, honestly. I think he
Yeah.
deserves to be up and pretty good. Like,
Yeah, I used to run him a lot actually, and
yeah,
I really liked him because his the P10 Ronnie because
yeah,
it's like I don't know, it's a small gun and
it just shoots so fast, dude.
and it's like it has his ability is really good for intel
Yeah,
because you know having
right.
a drone on a defender is like really
Yeah,
really
that's
good,
OP.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I will say this, and I don't know if this is true or not, so don't quote me on this that are watching this, but his reload animation is different. I don't know if it's. I know it's different for sure with the Commando. I don't know if it is with the P10, but like the fact that he like reloads when he throws the mag into his other hand or whatever, and then like throws it away or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I love that reload animation. It's only him that does it, and it's pretty cool. You know.
Mhm.
All right. Next on the list we have Knock. I'll take first stab at this one. I don't think her loadout is that good, to be honest. She has the SMG that Smoke has, which I don't think is that great of a gun. She has a secondary shotgun that is decent. However, though, you don't really want to use a shotgun as an attacker, in my
Yeah.
opinion, unless you have like a really good secondary. But I just don't think her gadget is that good either. You know, like if you're gonna say what you say about Vigil and his gadget being kind of mid, I feel like you almost have to say the same thing with Knock, because it's like unless people are looking on the cameras, like her gadget doesn't really
Yeah.
matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I'd honestly agree with you.
the one thing that people really liked about her that they took away from her, that they nerfed her about, which I don't know if you even knew this, but
Grenades.
what's that?
What's
No,
with the grenades?
not even just the grenades. That's another thing on top of it. The thing I was gonna talk about was having to do with her gadget. It's that when she activated her gadget, she used to go into silent step like Caviera, but they took
Oh
that
yeah.
away. They took that away. So I'll be honest with you, I straight up think that Knock is either mid or bad. What do you think?
I'd probably put a med, honestly.
Mid, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I can agree with
Because the
that.
SMG is not like
It's not
it's
terrible.
not horrible, but it's
No,
like
yeah,
I feel like they added like a lot more recoil to it for some reason.
yeah, that could be possible. With that being said, though, we'll move on to the next one. We got Warden next on the list. I'll let you take first stab at Warden. What do you think?
Personally, trying to be a sweat sometimes.
Yeah.
When he had the 1.5, like the old one, that was really good.
Yeah, for sure. On
Dude.
the MPX, yeah.
It was just like everybody was trying to use him at all times.
Yeah. Back when he had the 1.5, he was for sure GOAT or pretty good.
Like he's
I'll be
really
honest.
dull, honestly.
I'll be honest. I could still put him in pretty good.
I still put him pretty good
because he can see through smoke and flashes don't affect him when he uses his glasses. That is pretty huge. I will say that, especially if they have a blitz. Like that's pretty crazy. Like blitz is nothing to Warden, pretty much. You know.
Yeah.
So I will put him pretty good. And the thing is although they took away the 1.5, the MPX is still pretty good even without the 1.5, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I think Warden has a nitro cell too, doesn't he?
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, I would agree with you in saying that he is pretty good. Next on the list, we have Amaru. I'll take first stab at this one. I honestly would put Amaru at mid, bro. I'll be honest with you, dude. Like, her LMG is not terrible, and she has the secondary SMG 11, which is good. But if we're talking about her gadget, like, bro, like, yeah, maybe you might get lucky every once in a while and, like, get right into sight and, like, catch people off guard and, like, get a decent amount of them or whatever, you know? But other than that, it's like, homie, like, does it really matter that you can grapple up onto the roof, or does it really matter that, like, you can jump through a window? Like, I just don't see it really being that crazy unless you're trying to rush.
Also go up hatches and
yeah, but it's
honestly,
loud, bro. You know, it's like even if you're trying to go up a hatch that's on site, like if someone's smart and there's a broken hatch on site and they know that there's an Amaru, like they're gonna listen for the sound cue and know. You know what I mean? Like you would have to be kind of a bad team to like kind of give up something like that. You know what I mean? So I don't know, bro. At best, I would put her solid if you really think so, but if not mid, bro. Honestly. What do you think?
I'd have to put her solid, but mid's good if you want.
Yeah, because let's be honest, bro. It's like, yeah, we're hyping up all these other people to be good, but it's like, I would 100% run all of these other people ahead of them. You know what I mean? Like, we gotta kind of be a little bit more brutal to some of these, you know, that are not good, you know?
Yeah.
All right, next on the list, fuck, I can't even remember this guy's
name.
Yeah. Goyo, that's right, yeah.
Yep.
That shows you how much I use him. However, I will say this. I think Goyo got a good buff, in my opinion, because it's like, not only did it go from his things only being on shields, like, and you had to place them down, like, that kind of made it, like, really mid, like, back then. I will say this. I think now he is more solid. I won't put him in GOAT or pretty good, bro, because I don't feel like... I don't know, dude. Actually, maybe I could put him pretty good. I could put him pretty good.
I play him a lot, and he got the ACOG to his gun.
Oh, true. You know, is they pretty good with the ACOG?
I mean, you have to be able to control the recoil very good.
Right.
So I'm not like the best with it,
right?
But I'm pretty good with it.
Yeah.
With like the 1.5.
I will say this.
And
go ahead.
I still would put him at pretty good, even if you know you don't.
I will say this too that I think is crazy, like pretty good about him. If you don't drone like the barricade that you're about to like melee and break open, like if
Mhm.
there's a Goyo device on that door, I didn't realize this until it happened to me the other day, but like as soon as you hit that door, the Goyo
Yeah.
thing breaks and there's just fire everywhere underneath you at that point.
Yeah.
Like you gotta
And it
like
lasts
run
for
the hell
like
out of there.
a
Yeah.
minute, literally.
Yeah. So Goyo can actually be really good for like certain cutoff points and break off points, like especially if people are not being good about droning. And then on top of that, he's got the vector, like you said. And
Yeah.
does he have a nitro cell or no? I can't
Yeah, he
remember.
does.
He does. Okay. So yeah,
I'd honestly put him in pretty good.
yeah. I
I
think
think he's a good character.
I think he's pretty good. I'll agree with you on that, especially since they buffed him. If this was back in the day, I would have to put him lower. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Next on this list, okay, this one is gonna be kind of a weird one, I guess, because it's like it's a sniper, you know what I mean? She's really the
Yeah.
only like actual like I would really say, because we talked about Glaz earlier, like I view his gun as more of a DMR than a sniper. She legit though, like I said, has a bolt action sniper, right? And the cool thing about it is that if you hit somebody with it usually instantly downs them, right? Unless they're like a 3 armor with like rook armor, I think.
Mhm.
But other than that, like her gun will one shot somebody or whatever, knock them,
Yeah.
which is pretty good. However, I will say this: if you're not pushing from, like, if you're not using her from like outside and you're inside, it can be kind of risky. It can be kind of dicey. If someone's like a pretty good siege player, they're gonna push up with like their SMG or whatever and probably cook you unless you switch to your secondary SMG. I will say the other thing that's really good about her is there's nothing you can do about stopping her from using her gadget to like try to break like the bandits or like the mute, that's on the other side. Like there's no counter to that. You know what I mean? The only thing that you can counter
Yeah.
to it is if you run like a Kaid and you put it like not directly on the wall, kind of like what we talked about earlier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for that being said, I think she's a really, really good support operator. I think her guns and her loadout, although they make her unique and different, they also kind of limit her in certain ways. And I will say this: I don't think you really see a Callie every game. I don't know. I say solid or pretty good. What do you think?
I say solid, honestly.
Solid? Yeah. Okay. I'll agree with
Yeah.
that. I'll agree with that. If she had like an assault rifle that had that gadget on it, dude, like that would be crazy. Can you imagine that?
Mm.
Like an assault rifle or even a DMR. Imagine like a DMR even with just that gadget on it. Shoot on the wall, break it, hard breach it, boom. Go,
Yeah.
go, go, All right. So with that being said, with her being in solid, we'll move on to the counterpart, which is Wamai. And I'll let you take first stab at this, but I'm pretty sure we'll agree.
I don't even know where to like start, just because
Like, dude.
even though he like can
There's
counter
nothing
throwables,
Yeah.
like
Bro.
like it doesn't even destroy it. It still like goes off. you
Right.
know?
Right. And here's my thing too, bro.
I don't know what they were thinking when adding this, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like,
Bro,
what?
no, they were under pressure, bro. They were sitting in the Ubisoft fucking like discussion like room, sitting around a table, and they're like, "Fuck, boys, we gotta come out with a new operator. What are we gonna do?"
Yeah.
And then some fucking dude named Doug was sitting in the corner of the room, and he was like, what if we took Jaeger and just fucking made him worse?" You know what I mean?
Yep.
But no, in all seriousness, in all reality, his gadget is obviously, like we said, a worse version of Jaeger, kind of in a way, but on top of that, it's like it's not even that like he has guns either, that like a loadout that like makes up for it, because it's like if you really wanted to, like there's other operators that run the MP5, which is what he runs, right?
He has like the MP5 SK or something.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
not as good as the other MP5s, right? Like if you really want to
Mhm.
use an MP5, like you're gonna use probably like Rook or Doc, right, with an ACOG,
Yeah.
So with that being said, I'll be honest with you, trash.
Yeah.
I think they could delete Wamai out of the game and nobody would blink.
Yeah.
People would be
Except
like,
Jinxie, because Jinxie's like saying he's so good for some reason. I don't know why.
that's a hot take then. That's an L
Yeah.
take, in my opinion. Next on the list, we had Iona. I'll let you take first stab at this one because I know you used to play Iona actually a decent amount.
Yeah. I like her a lot, but
Yeah.
like.
But you don't
she's
see her every
very-
game.
She's
right?
very like. She's like Ash, kind of like.
Yeah,
She's
well, she
like
has the
a
G36.
slow.
Yeah,
She's like a slower version of Ash.
right. I will
Like
say this: her gadget
you
is
could
really
check if
good.
people's there.
Yeah, her gadget's really good for gathering intel. Like, especially like if you use it in a spot where you're safe, like nobody's gonna run out on you or nobody's gonna
Hmm.
see where it came from, type shit. But that's the thing. Her not only does her gadget have a time limit on it that you can use it, but like if it gets shot, it gets destroyed, and you can't move while you're on it. So yeah, it gives intel, but that it's not as hyped up as what it sounds. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
it's somewhat good, and her loadout's somewhat good, but it's not OP. None of it's OP. Nothing about her is OP. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think with that being said, I agree with you. I think she's solid. You know what I mean? You agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Next on the list, we have Oryx, and I'll be honest with you. I think the concept of Oryx is actually a really, really cool concept. However, there's one thing I don't like about him, and it's such a simple thing about him. I don't like that when you run through walls, it damages you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, who cares that there's an operator that can break through soft walls? Don't make it so it doesn't damage him. You know what I mean? Like, fuck it. Who cares? You know? Like,
And you can also like, if you break a hatch,
you can jump through
just
it.
jump back. And
I love that.
Oryx
Yeah.
is actually used to be so good because like he used to have the 1.5 scope, and
True,
I used
yep.
to always see people
Yeah.
using them, and
What-
I'd always use them as well. I think it's
Well,
a
you
really
know,
good gun.
On top of that, you know what else I think is really cool about him that I've seen other people do that I haven't done with him yet is when there's a shield operator charging them with Oryx. You know what I mean? To
It's
knock them
very
down.
useful.
Yeah. Because it's like, it can be kind of scary to go against a Montang or a Blitz, but if you're Oryx, bro, it's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's charge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I will say this. You don't see him every game, and the fact that his
I just
gadget...
put him at. I just put him. Old him, I'd put at solid, but mid.
I
is
think he's
probably
been
where I'd
now,
put
bro.
him at
Honestly,
now.
yeah.
He's like
Yep.
a retirement of like
Yeah.
a good character, you know.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, I'd agree with that. With that next being said, we have Ace. I'll say this. I think Ace is really good just in the sense that his gadget is a hard breach that automatically makes him good. And kind of like when we talked about Hibana earlier, we talked about how you can just throw his gadget. It doesn't take very long to deploy it, and you have your guns right back out.
Yeah.
However, I will say I'm not as good, and I'm not a huge fan of his AK. I'll be honest with you. Like, I don't...
He did get nerfed too
Yeah. So...
with his ability.
And I will say this too: if you don't have someone who's good that's running Ace, like they're not that good with placing or throwing his gadget, you can get stuck in situations where it's like you can't run through the hole, the hard breach hole, or you have to like crouch through it, or you have to like vault through it. Like it's very easy if you're not paying attention. It's very easy to mess up his where he throws charges.
Yeah.
With all that being said, I don't want to be too harsh on him. I want to be pretty fair because, like I said, he has a hard breach opener. He can do all that. I think he belongs in pretty good. What do you think?
Either pretty good or solid. Just because I would say solid is because with his new nerf, because
So what was the nerf mainly
abil-
about?
it takes his things to explode longer. Takes like 2 or 3.
Okay.
Like it actually takes like 5 seconds.
I'll agree with you for that cause then. I'll put him in solid because I will say this too, like I just think that Thermite is the best hard breacher. You know what I mean? Like
I'm right there with you.
for him to be able to, when he puts on his charge, it just blows up the whole wall. You can just easily run through it. Like it's one charge. It's quick and easy. The only thing that sucks about Thermite is obviously you have to run up to the wall and place it. That's the thing that sucks, obviously. Like it makes it easy for someone to run out or to hold an angle down a hallway on you while you're trying to do it. You know what I mean? Whereas Ace, you can be in a safe corner of like the room and just throw it on the wall. You know what I mean? So I will say that's one thing that makes Ace a little bit, I guess, better in a sense than Thermite. But Thermite just way overweighs him with other good things. So yeah, I think Ace solid. You don't see him every single game, but you do see him a good amount. When you do see him, if someone's good with him, he can be good. That's kind of the summary. Next on the list we have Malusi, and I'll be honest with you. I feel like you don't see Malusi every game, but you do see her a good amount. So I think she automatically gets put in solid. Her loadout is not a bad loadout either. Like it's not the worst. Like it's pretty solid. She has another MP5 of some sort. She can't put ACOG on it, so that sucks. You know, she's just held to whatever the regular is. However, I will know this. Like, if I don't drone out the area that I'm jumping into good enough and I run into a Malusi charge, like, that will fuck you over. Like, people will hear that it's going off. They will swing you and know that you're going to either A, be turning around trying to shoot the Malusi trap, or B, if you're committed to the peak or the angle, then, like, you're going to be slow. You know what I mean? You got to better hope that you hit your shot and you don't have to move type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but with all that being said, I think she is a pretty damn good operator, especially if people have good placements of her thing, and her loadout's pretty good. Like, she's more than anything, even if people know that where her thing is, they can't destroy it right until it opens. Like, it has to be able to open, right, to destroy it, unless you like grenade it or like sledge it or some shit, right? I think. But even then, like, it'll probably just open anyways when you get close to it, so you just shoot it, you know. So I think overall she's pretty good. Do you agree with that or what?
Yeah, I like that. Something I didn't even know about her, like back when she probably first came out, is that she had the T5, which I had no clue until like an hour or two ago. But
the T5, is that SMG that Legion has?
Yep.
Wait, so does she not have the MP5? Does she only have that one?
No,
or does she have both?
No. She used to have that. She has MP5 now.
Oh.
Probably when she came out.
Okay.
She used to have that.
Gotcha. Well, with that being said, we'll go ahead and move on to the next one, and we have Zero. And I'll let you take your first take on this one, and then I'll add on.
I think he's really good because you could put it through reinforcements.
Right.
But one thing that sucks about him is that
it's kind of loud when it burrows.
Yeah, and people can see it really easily.
Yeah, and shoot
so
it,
I usually try to put it in like the corner of it.
Yeah.
But you could shoot it really far.
One thing I do like about it too is not only can you shoot it through walls, but you can shoot it through the floor, right? So if you're like above the objective and you shoot it down, you can shoot it down and see still from underneath.
And his gun's good.
Well, yeah, and not only are his guns good, but going even back to his gadget, like that we didn't talk about, his gadget camera can shoot. So it's like, like if you get it to somewhere where they don't know, you can shoot a bandit charge or a mute charge away and get the wall. Like it can work as the same thing, you know. So I think that's another thing that makes him good. If people don't shoot his cameras, they're really good, and his loadout's good. I think, and I mean, bro, he's Sam fucking Fisher, bro. He's from a Splinter Cell. Like that's just he's got aura, bro. So
he's definitely a good character.
Yeah, with that being said, I think he belongs in pretty good for sure, bro, for sure. Next on the list we have Aruni, and I'll take first stab at this one. I think Aruni, I've been actually playing her a lot more recently, just because, like, I think it's really OP for any defender to have any sort of ACOG. You know what I mean? And it's on a DMR that, although the fire rate is not as fast as other DMRs in the game, it still is fast enough where it's like you can get 2 shots off pretty fast, and that's all it really takes to down somebody with that DMR is boom, boom, like 2 shots, so you're downing someone, you know? And or if you even just hit a headshot, obviously it's 1 shot, which is obviously people know in Rainbow Six who have been playing the game for a fair enough amount of time know that the ACOG is easier to get headshots than a lot of other guns. You know what I mean? Because you just have a clearer sight. You know what I mean? You can see closer. You know. So with that being said, I think her loadout is really good. Her gadget's also good because it's like you cannot literally destroy the lasers unless you throw something through it. You have to be willing to give up something in order to go through that door. You know what I mean? It's almost like you have to pay a price to go through that door. You're either getting rid of a flash grenade, a regular grenade, or a drone. You know what I mean? You're getting rid of something in order to go through that same door. You know what I mean? Or it does damage to you, or you run through it and it does damage to you. You know what I mean? So with all those things being said, I honestly, the lowest I could ever see her being is solid, if not pretty good. What do you think?
I probably put her pretty good as well.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I agree with that for sure.
And with her rotation punch is really good. Her
true.
Like,
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, she's got the robot arm so he can punch. Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that, bro, for sure. All right, bro. We are at last but not least, brother. I know this video has been a little bit longer than I know a lot of people are probably used to watching videos. Obviously, I'm going to cut this down and make it shorter than it already is. But let me know down below, guys, in the comments if you guys enjoy this type of concept, you know, where we're making tiers and we're kind of just giving you our opinion based off of our experiences. Let me know if you guys like these kind of videos. Let me know what other kind of TierMaker videos you guys would like to see, what other kind of subjects you would like me to cover, or me and my brother J-Ron here, Jordan, to run. But yeah, with that being said, Jordan, we are on the last one. Flores, what do you think, brother? I'll let you take the first stab at the last guy here.
Um, I think he's really good because, I know you can't shoot his drone
Right.
with, like, before it even gets to the exploding stage, but,
Right.
you know, if someone's, like, behind a shield,
Right.
you could literally just, like, jump over and, it only takes, like, 2 or 3 seconds to explode, so,
Right.
you really gotta react fast, or,
Right. I
yeah.
will say this. His loadout is decent. I know there's people who actually have recently told me they really like using that AR that he has. It's the same one that
Yeah,
Thatcher has.
it's my favorite gun, too,
Yeah,
or one of my favorite guns, I guess.
and it's really good. I will say this: his gadget is good. The drone with the bomb is good. I think the reason you don't see more people running it though is because when you blow it up, it obviously takes time to detonate, right? You have like 3 or more seconds, like 5 seconds or some shit like that to get away, right? Which is usually enough time to get away. You know what I mean? So a lot of times
Yeah.
people don't die to the drones unless they get like really in a pinch like situation, you know? However, it does force you to move, you know what I mean? Because like you said, it is bulletproof, you know what I mean? To an extent, you know. And it forces you to move, you know? So it's like if you know
Mhm.
someone is in a corner and you go and use his drone and you flush them out, you can after you flush them out, peek to where they're going to run out and then fucking just get them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think especially if you pair it up with people and you're communicating with your teammates where you're gonna be sending in that bomb drone, and you can kind of be like, hey, yo, there's a person in this corner. I'm gonna bomb drone him. Get ready, type shit. Like that could be really good as well. I will say this though, you don't see him every game, so I can't put him in GOAT or pretty good. I will say this,
I'd
I think
probably put
I
him
think a good
solid.
spot is solid. You agree with that?
Yep.
Hell yeah. And that is running through all the characters on Rainbow Six that are. Oh,
What
we
about
have
Deimos?
we have not said Deimos. Deimos is obviously, for those who don't know, is the newest character on Rainbow Six. He just came out this season, this current live season that we're in. I'll take first stab at Deimos. Although he seemed very, very hype when he very first came out, I've since then kind of more so understood how he works and kind of grown not to like him as much as when I first heard about him. I think he's a lesser version of Jackal, and the one thing I know that people don't really like about him and his gadget is that like as soon as you use it, right? What's cool about it is you don't have to like, unlike Jackal, you don't have to see footprints, right? You can just use it whenever you want. But the thing is like
Yeah.
as soon as you use it and it gets somebody, they also know where you're at. Like as Deimos, like they see you, you see them. You know what I mean? So it's like it makes it fair for the defender, but at the same time, it super nerfs Deimos because it's like not only do like other people not see the person that you're pinging, but the person that you're pinging also sees you. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
his primary weapons are not anything crazy. Like they're decent. He has the AK that Nomad has, and then the shotgun that Sledge and everybody else has in the SAS. Which is not a bad shotgun, but it's like they're not any weapons that are like crazy. And then the biggest thing about him, obviously, is his revolver secondary with the ACOG scope type thing put on it,
Yeah.
which that's really good. Don't get me wrong. As someone who's good with revolvers in video games and ACOGs, that's pretty cracked. Because it doesn't have crazy recoil, and you can, it does
Yeah.
a fair amount of damage. Like 2 shots, I'm pretty sure kills somebody, So with all that being said, we don't have a little indicator or icon for Deimos, but in my opinion, I can't put him higher than solid. I'll be honest with you. I think solid probably fits him pretty decent
Yeah,
in my
probably
opinion.
put him solid.
So
One person I'd probably want to move on this chart that
yeah,
you probably wouldn't move
right.
is Tabaro, just because I never see anyone playing him really.
Okay. What would you
just
move him
gonna
down?
have to
Just
say-
one slot to solid
Yeah,
or what?
just one.
Okay, and that's fair. You know what? I'll accept that, but I will be honest with you. Then I'm gonna do that with one person too, and I'm pretty sure you already know who I'm gonna do it with, and that is Vigil,
Yeah.
because his gadget, although I do agree with the points that you made, it can be kind of mid in a lot of situations. It does have perks where it is good, where it's like if you do hear a drone coming by, you can activate it real quick and then rotate to somewhere else, and it will confuse them. On top of his gun is really good, and I think he deserves to be moved up one spot to solid. So we moved one person down from pretty good to solid and moved one person down from mid up to solid. And I think that makes a lot of sense because solid's right in the middle, right? It's like
Yeah.
the middle should have the most people, in my opinion. And it does, you know what I mean? The next runner up is pretty good, which I'm happy with. That's how this game is, you know, like solid and pretty good have the most amount of characters in it, and that just shows you that they tried to make their operators good, you know what I mean, for the most part. Like,
Yeah.
if you really look at it, the bottom of the list, there's only a handful of stinkers, you know what I mean? And like that's good. That means it's a good game.
Yeah.
They make good operators for the most part, you know?
Hmm.
So, with that being said, that is going to be the end of this video, guys. If, like I said earlier, if you guys enjoy this type of content, make sure you guys are hitting that like button down below. J-Ron, I can always do more videos with Jordan and J-Ron. This is my brother. We can always do more videos together if you guys would like that. And yeah, anything else you want to say, Jordan?
Nope.
Say like the video.
Don't like the video.
Don't like the video. This video sucks. All right, guys,
Yep.
take it easy, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.